Alright, I'm recording this 2 weeks before 2022, and soon it will be 2 years since I took some steps to normalize my relationship with food. You see, 2 years ago, my eating habits were out of control. I was wanting to eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I paid very little attention to how much social drama I was causing. I was walking away from events. I was miserable when I couldn't get out to go to my favorite foods. I would be sitting in a meeting at work, daydreaming about food, to the point that entire meetings I would miss important points. I was having drama with. I was working at Washington Technology University, where I still am. I'm thankful that they have been very patient with me while I was dealing with all my eating disorder problems. When one of my students came in too early, it was before my office hours, I was getting ready to eat, and I got very impatient with him, and we almost lost him as a student. He just graduated not long ago, actually, and I publicly thanked him during his graduation. That's how much of an impression it made for me, and I used it as an example of how we can all be constantly learning throughout our lives. But I caused a lot of drama with my eating disorder. Now, I want to point out that there is one danger of getting too far away from your old ways or addictions if you make any sort of big changes in life. Here's an example I could give. So there are certain events where I know eating disorder challenges are going to be big, right? If I travel somewhere, right? So 2 weeks ago, I took a short vacation to Wallace, Idaho. There's a lot of restaurants that I love over there, right? If I were to see a friend that I haven't seen in 10 years, oh my God, my old ways are going to come flooding right back, right? Or if I go to a Computer Olympiad conference, thank God I haven't been able to do that these last 2 years. Or have stressful events, break up with my girlfriend. Okay, those kind of situations, I do have to keep my guard up. But there's also mundane situations, right? There's having to stay home because of another variant of COVID, my routine drive to work, seeing a tutoring client that I work with twice a week, 3 times a week. Now pause the video and think, which one of these circumstances am I most in danger of going into an eating disorder spell? It's actually the latter that is a little bit trickier, because you don't keep your guard up for stuff like that. I'm going to give a couple examples of where I ran into trouble with this. I had gone to my favorite grocery store. I was just about to pick up a piece of salmon, and there were about 5 pieces in the display, right? Usually, and before the pandemic, there would have been dozens and dozens of pieces. We're dealing with a little bit of a shortage going on right now, right? And I wanted this one particular piece because I was eating it raw. The others looked kind of dryish. And I was talking to the butcher behind the counter, and I told him which one. I was pointing to it. There's a pane of glass, and the fish must be at least 3 feet away from the glass. He couldn't tell which one I was pointing to. And just my own luck, he points to every one of them except for the one I wanted. And the whole time I was just miserable. It felt like an eternity. It must have been no more than 10 seconds, but it felt like an eternity for me. And I just, I really despise the fact that I wasn't able to handle that well, because I'm really trying to network with all the right people in my life. I know it sounds stupid, it's only a grocery store, but it's local, and I kind of made a scene. I raised my voice a little bit, and I just wish it didn't happen that way. Had I been more in control of my eating faculties, that situation could have played out a whole lot better. Now, 3 weeks before that incident, I was sitting at home minding my own business on a Saturday afternoon, and the phone rings, and it's my work, and my dean wants me to write a course for what we're teaching on computer security. And I was just about to dig into my meal, and I was in no mood to talk, and I think I rushed through that deal a little bit faster than I wanted to. It wasn't the end of the world, but it made me realize, oh my God, had I been in more control of my eating faculties, that I could have gotten a better deal out of it. So you see, it's the day-to-day, minute-to-minute events that really throw me, right? Going to a party, major stresses in life, breaking up, meeting somebody new. I mean, yeah, you do have to keep your guard up for that, but usually you cross that bridge when you get there, and there's usually not that big of a hitch. Actually, I kind of lied, there is one hitch. Usually it's not the party or the backgammon tournament that's the problem. Usually I can handle my eating faculties very well there. It's on the way home after I've congratulated myself that I run into these eating spells. I'll go to my favorite grocery store, that food that I wanted was sold out, I'm miserable. I go to 5 other stores looking for the food. It's usually after the party that I do that. Anyway, it just goes to show that you can't get too complacent with your old ways.